Actually, when I read this, that you have suggested ragas for background score in music, I was wondering from where this deep knowledge of music comes. And you have also directed a documentary on Kishori Tai. So can you please say a few lines?
Yeah, I had training in classical Hindustani classical music, 4 years degree course. But as I said, beach mein amavas aayi, and then everything. I mean, I'm just a Kansen. I remained a Kansen. But music is so deep. Uh, when I visualize a scene, I actually s- hear and see the music. So, what would be the instruments? What would be the ambience? What would be, like, for instance, if you, um, many of you might have seen Anahat, and Drupad music was the only possible option that I could think of. So Rag Bairagi, I mean, different, commensurate with the different situations. This is how I, even in Paheli or in all our films, um, music has been a very, very important factor. And I think music is a great one dimension which makes the film very fascinating. And we sit together as directors while we are recording the music, the background music, dubbing, each and every aspect of filmmaking, we sit through and we don't rely on the assistants and say, ha, you do this. For each thing, we are very, very detail oriented. And in Paheli, I would say that if you listen to the music of Paheli, even in the background score, this is all live instrumentation. There was not a single, even a synthesizer used in the mixing. The entire score of Paheli is completely live instrumentation.
Now, Amolji's first three movies were Silver Jubilees. And yeah, and his image was, I mean, that's a great start to a career. First three, movies, Silver Jubilees. And the image that he had was of the boy next door. Okay? But then, that is something that he deliberately wanted that image to be changed. Uh, there was an ad of Ariel, which he had directed, and the contract was for about 3 years. After 3 years, when the company came back asking him to renew, he said no. Okay? So, these are, you don't want to get sort of typecast, you don't want to get into a sort of mold. Why is that? And then do you have to pay a price for that?
I don't think it was something to do with image so much. I I must admit that once I do something, once I do something well, and audience also likes it, that is over for me. I know that I can do it well. I can not only do it well, but audience also loves it. फिर what is there for me to explore? So I want to do something which I am not sure whether I'll be able to do. I'll be able to do it well. Every time when I try to do it, whether there are butterflies in my stomach, whether there is a risk of falling flat on your face, all these things make that process extremely interesting and meaningful to me. All these, of course, with such clarity I didn't know at that time. I was a young boy, but I knew that uh, this lovable boy next door is something okay, I know now. And it was also proved to be successful, so people loved that. It was Sham Benegal who called me and we were chatting. I'll narrate in brief. Uh, he was making a film called Bhumika, which was based on Hamsa Wadkar's autobiography, Sangte Aika. Smita Patil was to play Hamsa Wadkar, and then we were discussing things, uh, and he said, Amol, my entire team feels that you should play the hero. I, for some reason, he said, I think you can do the villain even better. I said, Sham, if you're giving me a choice, I'll play only the villain and not the hero. And that's how I played Keshav Dalvi in that film, which was the first going away from the image, so to say. In fact, the industry, I still remember, was aghast. Kip, what's wrong with you? You're a successful hero. Why do you want to play a villain? And then there were so many advices given to me, etc. Long and short of it was that to be successful, there are baggages which come that you have to go on repeating that formula and that same label. Oh, he is an angry young man. So then he is a boy next door. He is the he-man. Like, I mean, I can talk about all my contemporaries, starting from Dharmendra. He was the he-man of that time. And then, of course, there was Rajesh Khanna, the lover boy. Then there was Jitendra, who would dance his way and woo the audiences. And on this background, I came, who was a nobody. I couldn't dance. I couldn't show my muscles and six packs because I had none. Uh, I wasn't even a lover boy as Rajesh Khanna would do it so beautifully. So what was I? I was someone who you could meet at the bus stop when you go out, who was not ready to hide that his chappal was broken. He could walk with a broken chappal. Now, this was what I portrayed. I tried to retain the vulnerability of all these human beings. And that's where I think the audience also immediately connected with me because they thought that, yes, that's part of that is me. Because we all are vulnerable and we don't show our vulnerability, we don't show our weak spots, but to be able to show it without feeling guilty or without feeling undermined was something which I did sincerely, and I think that's what clicked. Coming to the aerial advertisements, see, I was asked by Procter and Gamble company to shoot the aerial ad. Now that aerial ad at that time, I'm talking about 25 years back, 30 years back, it was called a testimonial ad. That means the person, the woman appearing in the ad was supposed to be real, staying maybe in a chawl, staying in a middle class locality, and she says she's fed up, she can't take off the coffee stain because coffee stain is very hard to remove. And then she says that, and then I found Ariel and I could remove it with Ariel. Now, this was the kind of campaign which we did, we carried out successfully. It was humongously successful. We did it in 4 cities: Bombay, Delhi, Chennai. It was not called Chennai at that time, nor was it called Mumbai at that time. Then Kolkata. All those places we went and shot. And I shot them with, sometimes with non-actors or with uh, unknown faces, but were good actors, kind of a thing. The thing was so successful that Ariel as a brand got very well established. So after 3 years, when they came back to me, I said, no, I'm not interested anymore, because yes, I know we have done it successfully. I can do it very easily. But what is there for me to explore? Let me find something different. And that's why they said, but they requested to, they had to accept my no, but they requested me that they were launching Ariel in Bangladesh at that time. So they requested me to do the first ad for Bangladesh, which I did, going there, shooting in Dhaka and all those things. But so that's how thing is. I I want to try something which I haven't tried. I am not scared of the failure. Probably that's my biggest strength. And but sometimes I am misunderstood that, अरे ये successful है, why don't you want to repeat it? Is the question which is asked to me again and again. That's how I am.
In fact, I had a next question, but the previous answer, the answer that Amolji has given, Amolji and Sandhyaji were traveling in a train in Norway, and suddenly they saw one sort of cabin, light somewhere else, and they just decided to deboard the train, and they went there and they found that it was a Michelin star restaurant, and they stayed there for 3 days. So if you see this trait of spontaneity and constant experimentation, new experiences. So like this penchant for experimentation. Is it like, Amolji? Is it like you are searching for something and constantly searching for something, and now at this stage of life, so have you found it? Is there something within you that you are constantly searching for something new?
I think your question itself gives the answer that if you're searching for something new, how can you say I have found it? The moment I find it, I know the answer. So there is something else that I will have to look for. That's what I keep doing it. And I am privileged to have such a lovely creative partner with me who also believes in right mixture of what you started with, right mixture of complete thorough homework along with the spontaneity. We have, Sandhya will speak a little more about that. We have misconception about spontaneity. Spontaneity does not mean that you don't do any homework. There is a structure, there has to be a structure, there has to be a proper study, proper uh, homework done, and then you let the elements emerge which may not be planned. So you be open to that spontaneity, but that is only this much. Rest is all very hard work.
Filmmaking is mostly a craft. Of course, there is it's a artistic pursuit, but um, beyond your aesthetics, there has to be a clear command on the craft. If I'm sitting here and the camera is there, and if I look here and my face doesn't get the light, then I don't know uh, the technique of filmmaking. If I want certain effect, then how do I get it? It starts from the writing till the final edit. It's all craft. And people who kind of brag about, oh, it's all here, I don't write the dialogues, I just go on the set and, I just tell them and they say it and I just think, no, that's wrong. That's being pompous. Craft doesn't happen that way. For a singer, for a classical singer, you will not dare sit before audience till your riyaz is complete. And even then, you are not sure about the command over the craft. Art is that. Art is what Amolji is saying, the butterflies in the stomach. Every time the curtain is opening, whether I will fumble, whether I will take the light properly, whether I will interact properly with the co-actor, all these things. I mean, it's a very absorbed act, but craft is the basis for art.
I'll add a very interesting thing which, while Sandhya was speaking, I remembered something. We all, most of you must be same generation, so we were great fans of Shammi Kapoor. Now Shammi Kapoor, with all his jhatkas and jumping around from here to there, taarif karu, all that. Now I was told by the cinematographer that he is so perfect, he comes on the same mark with all that, which looks so rebellious and so spontaneous and all that. It is all very well rehearsed, and he is doing exactly that on those spots, because if you go off the mark, just to share the technicality, the cameraman cannot focus on you. So the mark has to be correct. But to make you feel that he has jumped there on that spot, on the spur of the moment, that's what makes him lovable.
So I had a question. There was a producer who made 3 films, A.V. Mohan, and then Amolji said, sorry, I no more, I'm done with acting. So I wanted to ask him why, but now I have got the answer in terms of, always going beyond what has been done and finished with.